Hello, longboarding mom. Today I'm cooking in the kitchen and I am making homemade gyro sandwiches. Remember I showed you that gyro sandwich that I had with my son? He said that actually kind of looked good with minus the lettuce and tomatoes and onions and stuff. But he said that looked good and he might try that. So I thought I would try to make homemade gyro sandwiches in the tzatziki sauce. Not sure if I said that right or even if I said the gyro sandwich part right. And I'm going to make homemade either naan bread or pita bread. I haven't decided which recipe I'm going to use. I made this once before. It was a long time ago. I can't find that recipe. Usually if I like a recipe, I save it. And I thought I saved it on Pinterest. Can't find it. So I'm going to try a new recipe and kind of make it different, my own unique recipe, because I don't think my son will like lamb all too much. And last time I made it, I did use like a ground turkey burger to make it. Just made all those yummy ingredients with it and kind of a meatloaf sandwich, basically, and all that sauce and yumminess and stuff. So we're gonna get started first on the sauce, and then I'm gonna make the bread because this is all in steps and homemade. It does take a little bit of time, and the sauce, you want it to meld all those flavors together. It says about 2 to 3 hours, so we're gonna get started on that first, and then last is the meat. So we are going to get started on that yummy, delicious tzatziki sauce. This is an English cucumber. I've already cleaned it off. I'm going to cut off that bad part right there. And we are going to grate it into this big bowl here. And after it is all grated, we are going to put something heavy on top of it so it can drain all that juices out of it. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put on top of it. See how wet that is? You want to get all that liquid out of it because you don't want your sauce to be too liquidy. And the reason why I chose this cucumber is because it is supposed to be burpless. Cucumbers give me indigestion and make me burp. I love cucumber salads. I love stuff like that. So this is the kind of cucumber that I like to buy. In this bowl, I'm going to add my Greek yogurt and a half a teaspoon of garlic to it. I'm not going to make a full batch of the sauce because we won't eat all of it at once. So this is plain Greek yogurt I got from Winco. And I'm just going to put this in here. My cucumber is in the refrigerator. I sprinkled a little bit of salt on top of that and put it in there. We'll let that sit for a little bit while we do this, and then we'll wring out the rest of that liquid in it. And it says 2 teaspoons of garlic, so we're going to do 1 teaspoon of garlic. And a half a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Yum. I love this sauce. You can use it for dipping, you can use it for all kinds of stuff, and it's not all that bad for you, really. It's got vegetables in it, the cucumber. It's got garlic in it, and it's got oil in it, and the Greek yogurt. And if you're lactose intolerant, there is a way to make this friendlier. So I'm going to cover this up and put it in the refrigerator, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after we squeeze all that water out of the cucumber and we add it all together. And we're going to start working on the next step. I've washed my hands up really good. This is soaked up some of it. I'm going to take this somehow and wring it out. Get all that liquid out of it. I don't need all of this because my tahini sauce I haven't used a lot. So look at all that liquid. Whoop. I busted it, so I'm going to squeeze it really gently. That's a lot of liquid that we don't need it in our sauce. Wow. And that's what it looks like. I'm going to put that in my sauce. I'm going to just stir in just a little bit, just to see what it looks like first before I add all of it. And that looks perfect. That is your sauce that is going to go on that nice, yummy pita bread that we are going to make. I'm going to try just a little bit. Flavors are going to marry. I might add a little bit more garlic to it. It says you can add garlic powder, so we might add a little garlic powder to it. Just a little bit of garlic. That's granulated garlic. And we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let it sit for a few hours, actually, before dinner.
Meanwhile,
we are going to start making our bread for our sandwiches. I decided on a flatbread recipe. It's Nikki's Kitchen Sanctuary. I'll try to remember to post all these recipes down below. I'm not so good at it, but since I've actually had to send them to myself, it might be a little easier for me to do that. So in this bowl, I've warmed it up a little bit. We are going to add 2 teaspoons of yeast to it and 2 cups of hot water, and we are going to let that sit for just a little bit. About 5 minutes for it to start bubbling and stuff. So there's 1, 2, and I've warmed that water up in my microwave. It's not quite warm enough, so we're going to give it another 30 seconds. Okay, we're going to let that sit for almost 5 minutes and let it warm up and start to bubble. It's already starting to bubble. Okay, we're going to add some oil, 4 tablespoons to that. We're going to put the dough hook on, and we are going to knead this for about 10 minutes. 4 tablespoons of oil. And this is going to make 12 of the flatbreads. And 4. One and a half tablespoons of sugar. Ooh, that's a lot of salt. I'm going to add just what I added. It calls for a tablespoon and a half of salt. That scares me. And we're going to add 6 cups of flour to it. It calls for bread flour, but I do not have bread flour. And I looked it up. Bread flour has a little more protein to it. So this is just going to be a little stickier than the bread flour. So there's 1. I'm actually learning something today. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. We are going to add the dough hook, and I'm going to slowly turn this on. We're gonna knead this for 10 minutes. I am going to stick my dough in the oven and let it rise for 60 to 90 minutes. It needs to double in size. This little mat is not going to do for what I need to do for it. I was just kneading it on it for now. And while that is rising, I'm going to clean up. My bread has been rising for an hour and a half. We are going to separate it into 12 pieces. I'm going to cover it with this. It's wet so that it'll stay moist. That's a lot of bread. Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. There's not enough, so we're going to take a little bit from each one and make 12. Kind of like rolling tortillas out. You're gonna set these here, cover them up, and we're going to kind of fry them a little bit, but not fry them. It's just a little bit of oil in the pan. Some of these are going to be bigger than others. It feels like that's a lot of dough. Okay. My pan is not on yet, so I'm going to roll one out and turn the pan on and show you guys what it looks like. They don't have to be perfect, but you want them kind of round because we're going to make wraps out of these. My pan is on medium-high heat. I'm going to brush it's olive oil on the bottom of the pan. Let it warm up. I think that might be too much, but maybe not because it does need to fry a little bit. And we're going to put that down and rub some more oil on it and flip it over. It's going to cook for a minute on each side. Got a little smoke coming up, so I'm going to put that down. Brush some more on this side. This is my test one. I've not made these, so. Oh. Looks like it's cooking just right. I don't think that one's cooked all the way through. I'm going to have to cook it longer. I love you. I've got my sauce made, my bread made, and now I'm making meat. This is ground turkey. I've already diced some onions. I'm going to throw this into my blender because I do not have a food processor. But we are going to blend this up and add some garlic to it, and then we're going to add it to this and make like a meatloaf mixture. I'll add all the ingredients. I've got thyme, black pepper, rosemary, thyme, and some Italian seasoning because I do not have the I can't even say it. But it's like oregano, and I don't have any oregano, and Italian seasoning has everything in it that I need, so I figured I'd just add a little bit of that to it. So I'm going to add that to the mixture here. We're going to add some thyme to it. I think I need a teaspoon. We are going to add half a teaspoon of black pepper. Half a teaspoon of salt. I have only 1 pound of meat. Normally this calls for 2 pounds, but I am making less. So we are going to add, and these are dry, not crushed, so I'm going to pull them out and kind of break them up in between my fingers, so it kind of cuts it a little bit, I guess. It's not cut, or it's all whole. Okay. And since it's dry, we don't want a lot of it. And then the last thing we're going to do is add the onion to it. So I'm going to put that in the blender. I'm going to turn it off so you guys don't have to hear the sound. And when I come back, we will be mixing this all together. This is my onion mixture all on top. We are going to just mix this all together. And we are going to make little meatloaves. I've already put some, or sprayed some oil on the bottom of those. We are just going to separate them into 2 meatloaves. I'm just going to pat them down. And we're going to bake them in the oven at 325 for about an hour. And then when they come out, we're going to press them, drain the oil off of them if they have any oils, and then press them so they, I guess, are pressed. So I don't know. I've never done this before like this. This is a different recipe. So we are going to put this in the oven, and 30 minutes I'm going to check it. In an hour it should be done, and we'll show you what it looks like. I've drained the oil on both of these. I'm going to put some foil on top, and these little pans right here, I'm going to set right on top with that can inside as a weight. And we are going to let these cool for 10 minutes, and then we're going to slice into them and give them a little grill to kind of give them that little crispy touch that the gyros have on that meat. So I will be back in about 10 minutes to show you how this slices up. I hope it works, you guys. I have not done this before. This is something way new to me. This is not the recipe that I remember. I'm gonna have to call my sister and ask her because I think I got that recipe from her. So we are trying something all new, brand new. Like I said, the 2 Gyro breads, the flatbreads, the first ones I made didn't turn out very well, and the rest of them did. I can't wait to put this together. I hope it turns out.
And then they go like this, and they kind of fold it over and just put a toothpick through it. But this one came out on the bottom, so I didn't fold it.
Corner to corner, right?
Yes, corner to corner, and it gives you a little excess on both sides. See it? The one that you know, the one that's facing up at you, that side, you fold over first. And then you fold the other one, and you kind of stick it inside it. And then you go.
And then you go like this.
And then you kind of, you got it.
Wait, let's.
You're cute. There's another one right there behind you. And then remember, paper it folds. See, yeah, you got it. It's a little boat. And then look, see, there's one.
Okay, I need it a little bit cooler because it's kind of falling apart and we want it to stay together when we cut it. Okay. After we're done slicing these up, we're going to put them in that skillet that we were making the bread in and kind of give them a little crispy edges. I think this one's slicing up just a little bit better than the other one did. They're gonna be so yummy. I could already smell all the flavors in it. Do one more cut here, and then we're going to take that and crisp it up and put it on our sandwich with our lettuce, tomatoes, and onion, and that sauce I can't pronounce. I have preheated my pan. It's medium high, between 6 and 7. I'm going to add those meat slices to this pan and I'm going to grill each side and get them crispy. On this pan over here, I'm going to warm up my pita breads that I made. They don't really need to be warmed up, but I'm going to warm them up because, look, they're pliable, but I like mine a little bit warm. Okay. I'm going to add these pieces and get them crunchy and golden brown. Oops. Oops. Some of them are nice and thin. They're kind of falling apart, so I got to be careful. Okay. I'm going to drizzle them with some olive oil before I flip them over. Give them a little drizzle. Ooh, nice. Oops. Ah. Okay, don't break, don't break. Okay. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. I've never cooked on cast iron pans before, so first time for everything. Well, I take that back. I have cooked once before, so I'm still learning. Ah. Oh, come on. Okay, that one fell apart on me. That's okay. It's still gonna go in my sandwich, and I'm gonna crisp those up. And that is, I think 3 slices, maybe 4 slices. So I might do another batch here. And 4 slices I think will be perfect. No, you know what? 3 slices I think is perfect for each sandwich. So I'm going to let this crisp up, and then I'm going to show you how to put the sandwich together. My husband helped cook a couple of these, so they didn't get like crispy. And we made a couple for the neighbors, and I already fed my son. But here is my pita. I've warmed it up on the stove. You're going to add your tzatziki sauce down below, your pieces of meat. And like I said, 2 or 3 pieces was just perfect. Look at that. I'm going to put a couple of crumbs there. Some lettuce that I've already cut and diced. Some tomato, perfect for it. And some onion. And I like a little bit more sauce, so I'm going to put a little bit more on top. A little bit more lettuce. And okay, before I take a bite of this, look at that. my son only had smoked cheddar cheese and meat with mayonnaise and mustard. But I'm going to take a bite of this really fast. Mm-mm. Now, it needs just a little bit more sauce because I like the sauce. And I can throw on a little bit more meat to fill in that because it's a big pita bread. But oh my gosh, it tastes so good. And you can make it your own. You know, turkey. You can follow the recipe and do the lamb and hamburger. But aren't these baskets cute? You can find them at Dollar Tree. And the little papers too. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.